friends. It's Miss Gaby from the Youth Services Department at the Finkelstein Memorial Library, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about 5 books I read, 5 picture books that I really enjoyed, and I hope by telling you a little bit about each one, they might interest you in checking them out, and maybe you'll enjoy them as much as I did. Okay, so the first book I've read is called Lubna and Pebble. And it is written by Wendy, Meddour, and Daniel Ignus. I'm not sure if I've pronounced it right, but I did my best. So, this story is about a little girl named Lubna, and her daddy traveled. We don't know where they come from and what's happened, but they traveled to this new place, this sort of temporary home. And Lubna finds a pebble, and she draws a little smiley face on it, and the pebble becomes her best friend. Like her daddy, the pebble makes her feel safe, and she tells everything to the pebble. She tells about her previous home and what happened, and so she and her daddy helps her make a little home for the pebble out of a little shoebox and a towel. And then one day she meets a little boy named Amir, who's also come to this temporary place, this temporary home, and they become really good friends. And Amir's kind of shy and quiet, and she introduces Amir to Pebble, and they all become really good friends. And then one day her dad tells her the great news that they're finally moving to a new, better home. And she's very excited, but she's also very sad because she has to leave her new friend Amir. And Amir hears the news, and he's very sad as well, and he cries. And so Lubna decides to do a very selfless, kind thing to help Amir feel better and safe while she's gone. And what do you think that is? What do you think she decides to do? So if you want to find out, you can read Lubna and Pebble. Okay, so my next story is called Be You. And really like this story because it's by Peter H. Reynolds, and it kind of talks to you about being yourself. It kind of tells us, all of us, that we're born to be so many things. And it's a reminder to us to, no matter where you go or what you do, wherever your journey takes you, it kind of reminds us to be curious, about things, to be adventurous, to have fun, to be patient. Things don't always turn out the way we want them to. But to also be brave and persistent, because don't give up, keep trying. It tells us or reminds us how to be kind and understanding, and to be ready for whatever comes our way, and to always remember that no matter what, you'll always be loved. So I really like it. It tells us to go ahead in life and be yourself, be the best version of you that you can be. And it's a really nice, inspiring, uplifting story. So that is Be You. My next story is called An Ordinary Day. And it's written by Elana K. Arnold and illustrated by Elizabeth Vukovic. It's a little bit of a sad story, but a happy story. And it kind of, it tells us about, or teaches us about the circle of life. And how in every ordinary day in any ordinary neighborhood, extraordinary things happen. So let me explain a little bit about this story. So we have 2 houses on an ordinary street on a regular ordinary day, and the houses are unusually quiet this day, but it's a usual day. There are kids outside playing. There's a neighbor watering flowers, and there's like a bird, a crow, the usual neighborhood crow that's flying around and squawking loudly. and two cars on this day pull up to one to each of the houses, and two visitors step out of the cars, and each of them walks up to one of the houses and knocks on the door and quietly steps in. So in one house on the left, we see a beautiful golden retriever dog, and he's laying on a bed, and he's surrounded by loving family. And in the other house on the right, there's a woman resting on a bed, and she's also surrounded by loving family and warm, soft music. But the two visitors take out a stethoscope, which is like a doctor's instrument, and they listen to the heartbeats, one of the dog and one of the woman. And they both say the same words: she is ready. But the difference is that in one house, the loving family is getting ready to say goodbye, and in the other house, the loving family is getting ready to say hello. So, what do you think is going to happen? It sounds like something a little sad, and it also sounds like something a little happy. So, you can read the story and find out what happens. But it's a really gentle story, and it teaches us that in every neighborhood, in every ordinary day, extraordinary things happen, and that's the circle of life. So that is an ordinary day. Okay, my next book is called The Perfectly Perfect Wish. This is by Lisa Mantchev and illustrated by Jessica Courtney Tickle. And it's about this little girl who's waiting for the bus to go to school, and she finds something in the grass, and it kind of looks like a penny or a marble, but those things are kind of ordinary, and this seems extraordinary. And it has writing on it that says, no more, oh my goodness, I forgot exactly what it says. It says, no wishing for more wishes. So the bus arrives, and she, shows it to the bus driver, and the bus driver, tells her to think really hard, because those words mean that she's only got one wish, and it has to be the perfectly perfect wish. So she thinks about it all day, and she thinks, what could she wish for? Like maybe a blue ribbon from the horse show, or, a trip to another country, or fancy, ballet slippers. And she asked some of her friends and her teacher what they would wish for to get some ideas. And they tell her, things like, a nice house for their family, or a puppy, or for their dad to come home safe. And she thinks about this, and those are all things, wonderful things that she already has. So what else could she wish for that would be, as wonderful as those things? So she thinks really long and hard all day about it, and she finally decides what her one wish will be, what her perfectly perfect wish would be. And if you want to find out what she wishes for, read the book, The Perfectly Perfect Wish. Okay, I have one more story, my last one. It's called I Love You, Fred, by Mick Inkpen and Chloe Inkpen, and I really love this book. It holds a special place in my heart because it's about a dog, and the dog happens to remind me of my dog. And so this dog has these big, funny, warm, loving eyes, and he's very loving, and he loves his owner, which is a little red-headed boy, and the little boy loves him dearly too. And the little dog is so proud of himself because he can, do all these things that he's told to do. He can sit, he can stay. Well, sometimes he does run away, but he can fetch. If they tell him to go fetch the ball, he can do that. But there's one word that he hears a lot, and he just can't figure out what that word is. And that word is Fred. All day long he hears people saying, Fred, 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 and he just tries to figure out, what is Fred? If only I knew what Fred meant. How do I Fred? How can I Fred? And another funny little thing in the story is that every time he goes to this one room upstairs where there's this large mirror, he sees another dog in the mirror that looks just like him and that's holding the same ball as his. And he also sees this dog in the pond when he goes to the park. Is it really another dog? Anyway, so one day he does, he goes to the pond, to the park, and when he comes to the pond, he sees that dog again with his ball. So he decides to jump in the pond and get the ball. And he does, and then he starts sinking and sinking and sinking, and he starts flailing about and choking and trying to get out, and he suddenly he hears, Fred, Fred, Fred. The little boy shouting, Fred. And he keeps thinking, oh my goodness, if only I could know what Fred means, and I could get out if I could Fred. So finally the little boy pulls him out, and the little dog is, so happy, and the little boy is thrilled, and says, Fred, you're safe. And the little dog finally figures out what Fred means, what Fred is. And I'm sure you know what that is too. But read I Love You, Fred, because it's a really cute, funny little story. Anyway, those are my 5 books, and I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about them, and I hope they'll really, make you want to check them out and give them a chance, and hopefully you'll enjoy them, or one of them at least, or any of them, as much as I did. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Bye for now.